Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. We're in the middle of our work week, and I'm excited that maybe the weekend's coming. I have work to do, so I can only get but so excited. But I'm excited about tonight's topic because being organized is the key, one of those keys, major keys to success, I believe. If you're not organized, your productivity is, hindered, and therefore you can't produce the results that you want, whether it's in your personal life or your business life. So I thought it only apropos to bring on a professional organizer, someone with the expertise in this field. As you know, my heart is for caregivers, but this is a topic that anyone in any situation could benefit. But caregivers, obviously we have some unique struggles, and being organized really will help us to just do a better job and to have less stress. When things are in order and they're not chaotic, you can kind of endure the process a little bit more. So tonight we have Stephanie Jackson of Sort Me Out. She is a professional organizer, and she helps people to organize and sort through their spaces, not only their spaces, but the tasks that they have to do or projects that they're working on, so that they can enhance their living and working environments. And so she can do anything, complete room transformations, creating organizing plans, just helping with trouble zone maintenance, all those things that we need to really help us to become more productive and not just be more productive, but enjoy the process a little. We all want to enjoy life. We don't want to be stressed out. So without further ado, I am so excited to have Stephanie with us. Stephanie, are
Hi, thank
you
you.
there?
I'm here. All right.
Great. We are so glad to have you, and I'm going to let you take it away. I'm not going to delay it any longer.
Sounds wonderful. I wanted to talk about the list. The list can be many things. It's your to-do list, your action plans, your agenda. By taking a deeper look at these things, you can improve your personal style. How can you tell the list is not working?
Entry and exit chimes are off.
How can you tell the list is not working? You have too many locations. You're losing track. There's not enough time. You feel overwhelmed. All those things can be a little unsettling, which hinders you from completing or just moving forward with what you're trying to do. I wanted to define what the list is. It's really a mental offload of information. There's so many things that we're thinking about and have to do, but by actually putting them down on physical paper or putting them into your computer, you're relieving your mind to think about other things. It's also a repetitive part of your memory. If you think it, you write it, you're more likely to make these things happen. And finally, it's organizing everything you need to complete. I was thinking about ideas of, what items do we really record and have to put down on paper to make your personal and your business life work? It really varies. It can be, thoughts and feelings, projections and your goals for the future, doing that project that, will take probably several months, but we need to plan it out so we're not down to the last week and thinking, oh my, I have to finish this today. But being relaxed about the process and enjoying the many things we have to do instead of really just, being frustrated and having to complete things so quickly. Methods of recording, that's really my favorite. The best answer is anything nearby me. Am I going to, use that scrap of paper right on the back of something I just got from somebody else? Then all those items, where do they go? Are they in your pocket? Do they end up getting washed? And that process is all gone. Things like a journal or a calendar or a central location where you can hinder in and get all those things in one place. Thinking about who adds to the list. Many things varies from person to person. You're volunteering, you're active in your community, you have a job, things that your job does extracurricular in relation to your family. Very vendors for most people, but you could have all of these things, or maybe there's just two. But sometimes you have to think about yourself as well. Leave time for yourself, and don't forget that that's the most important thing. Evaluating your list. This is something, you're looking at hard look at yourself. What am I doing? Are the lists keeping you, beneficial towards your big picture? Do you need to let something go to make room for something else so you don't have the feelings of overwhelming or having to keep track of so many different things? What is it that's really important to you and your big picture? My favorite, time evaluation. How long does it really take for me to do the dishes? Or how long does it really take for me to complete this report? You only have 24 hours in a day, and these things, you have to be equal parts of, your job, your personal time, and your sleep. And also thinking about, all the responsibilities that you're keeping for. Maybe one thing could be delegated to somebody else. That's an important thing with having a lot of to-do lists, is trusting in other people, going ahead and farming that work out so you have more time to do the things that you really want to do. Prioritizing. That can be tough. Sometimes I like to ask two different questions. What brings you happiness? And then the other side of that is, can this make you money? And then you want to determine on a priority basis, is this an urgent? Is there a due date? The end goal of this, will it improve how my life is going? The design is so wide and varied. You can do things like a brainstorming map, which maybe a lot of us learned in elementary school when you're trying to, get the big ideas out and filling in the spaces. Some people like a little more complex, got different grids they can fill in what they need to do. Um, dialing it down to look at, what do I have to accomplish on a weekly basis, and making sure that you leave room for pitfalls. Being an active lifestyle, there's so many things that can happen that would make you have to adjust what needs to happen on your to-do list, but you want to be excited about the things that you are accomplishing. Once you've reevaluated how you're keeping your to-do list, how are they getting accomplished, and looking at your results, you want to kind of track your improvements. What things that I tweaked and made it, just so much better? Was it, I was staying in the moment to complete this small task instead of trying to do 3 things at the same time? And the ever most important is rewarding yourself. Don't look at the things you have left to do. Look at what you did today. You may have accomplished 30 items, but maybe you still have another 20 to go. Reward yourself. You finished all of that, and you don't have to worry about that anymore. The mental offload of the list worked for you. You checked it off, and it's done. In conclusion, I'm here to help you make a happy, healthy, and organized life. The list will produce results when used consistently and effectively. Don't get lost in developing and keeping track, and make sure you reward yourself for keeping up with your busy life. I would like to open it up for questions or thoughts about things that you use for keeping track of your list.
If anybody has any questions, this is the time to ask, or we're going to just have a open discussion about getting organized, because for many of us, I know for myself, being organized is important, but with juggling so many things that I have to do that are a must, it can still be quite challenging. So if anyone has any questions, you can type them in on the chat box, which is going to be on the left-hand side of your screen, and I will field them out to Stephanie But in the meantime, um, we're just going to have a little dialogue about organizing and some of the points that Stephanie did bring up. Stephanie, what what do you think is the most important, the really key step in getting organized? Someone that is just very overwhelmed and doesn't know where to start. What advice would you give them?
I think I would start really with a self-evaluation, really jotting down what is it that is needing to be accomplished. And, once you look at that, you can really start to kind of weed out or delegate to things that relieves the pressure on yourself. I mean, do I really need to say, you know, clean the baseboards once a week? Maybe you could drop that down to 2 weeks. It relieves more time for something more important, say taking a walk every day, so that you can be energized to, get that report out, create that, wonderful piece of artwork that you need to do, or, any type of project like that. Room transformation in itself, piece by piece. If you're just looking at the entire mess, it's hard to see through unless you think about, okay, well, let's just do the plan piece and make that happen. And then I'm going to accomplish the first part here. And then as long as you're working towards it, but you're not overwhelmed by the largest of the project. I was curious, about maybe the different ways that people are keeping up with their to-do list. Are they using calendars or journals or apps? Do you find that there's a combination
Mhm.
using those things that maybe, you know, really only using the one, and how are you keeping up with that? So is it in your purse all the time? Is it in your pocket? How are you keeping up with the one item that holds everything that you need to do?
Yeah, like if you're, are you a bigger fan of using, electronic organizing systems, or do you prefer or suggest things writing it down? I mean, I know for me, I'm always inclined to use both because I've had instances where technology has failed me. Things have gotten erased or they've gotten, mixed up somehow in my calendar, and then I have to take time to kind of backtrack. So I'm always prone to kind of leaning towards going back to the old fashioned paper and pencil and doing it that way, but that also takes time. So what do you prefer or
I use a
suggest?
combination. I have a digital recorder. So when I'm on the go, say I'm in between meetings and I just had a networking event and I talked to three women that would like more information or they want to be, directed towards a networking event, I will sit in my car and I'll record what needs to happen. And that way it relieves the urge to want to use little bits of paper that end up getting lost because I love paper. Paper is my go-to. I feel if I write it down, it'll more likely happen for me. But not necessarily
Mhm.
I'm going to have my notebook everywhere that I go. That's just not reality. It's not possible. But having a backup, whether it's, an app on your smartphone, they have tons of apps, like I use something called Notes where you can record right into your phone and then you can decide whether you need to take it off there and, write it into your tasks or just go ahead and complete it right there instead of having to redo the work. But sometimes it's tough keeping up with both, the digital part and the paper part. It has to become part of your routine at the end of the day. Did I record something? Did I send myself an email to make something happen? And then
Mhm.
go forward with the paper part of it.
Yeah, I like that suggestion about the voice recording. That's something that I could even take away from this evening because it is very challenging when you're going from appointment to appointment, meeting to meeting. How do you keep track and how do you not waste time kind of redoing the same things over and over? And I like what you mentioned a little earlier about delegating. Um, Caregivers, in particularly, because we are so passionate about and committed to our loved one's health and just making sure that they have the best care, it can be difficult to kind of let go of some of the reins. And of course, delegating some of those tasks is really what, most of the time what I'm preaching to people is you got to let go of some of the control, but really evaluating yourself. I like that one of the first steps to being organized is just evaluating yourself and seeing really the motivation behind maybe why you do things the way you do, and is it really necessary, like you said, to wash the baseboards once a week? That might not have to be done. And so I think that's great advice that we can all take away is, what are we spending our time doing? And then, like you mentioned earlier about the big picture, is what we're doing and how is it contributing to the big picture. What are some of the most challenging in your profession and experience? What has been some of the most challenging cases that you've encountered with helping people to get organized?
I think it comes to the self-evaluation part where they're not really being honest about what is not working for them. They'll say that there's a particular piece that's not working, and we'll try different things that are complementary but are similar to the problem. But then, say a month into it, they're looking at me and say, well, this is not working for me, and they'll say at that point, what is really not working. And that's hard to really look at yourself and say, okay, I do not put my car keys in the same part of my house every day. Sometimes I walk in and I throw everything to one spot. Or it'll be another time of day and I'll be coming in a different door and I leave them there. And then I spend half my time looking for my keys. Creating that pattern and adjusting it to how you are. So maybe there is a basket for your keys at the front door, at the back door, because those are the two main places where you're coming in and you're just offloading your things there. At least you know where to look initially instead of looking in different parts of your house or that type of thing.
Well, that's another great tidbit. Working within your own pattern. I think sometimes you can read books and you can watch different programs, and they come up with systems, but those systems may not necessarily go with the way that you live your life or the patterns that you follow. So that is definitely great advice about, because I know car keys in my house, they get eaten by the sofa. The bed monster comes and grabs them. So, yeah, they just kind of get away. And if you're if you're a caregiver and you're in an emergency type situation, or you're trying to get somewhere really quickly, spending 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes, if not more, trying to find your keys can definitely add to that stress level that is already, it's already heightened at that moment anyway. So, you're right, finding those systems that work within your own lifestyle. But like you said, being honest with yourself. I'm a big fan of self-reflection and, just self-evaluation and really seeing what works and what doesn't. So you really can't get organized until you really are true to who you are and what is the challenges that you're facing. So, it gets back to personal integrity.
Journaling
ultimately
really helps with that. Just simply right before you go to bed, think about all the things that were accomplished during the day and what really, was off track. Was it, there just wasn't enough time, but you still made it happen, and then it threw off everything else that was trying to be accomplished. And then once you've done that, say for a week, look for patterns, because there are patterns of good things and patterns of things that go wrong that happen in your life. And if you're not really sure really what it is, but you just know there's something that you could do to improve by doing it on a daily basis, looking at what's happening, and then reevaluating at the end of a certain period of time. Maybe it's 2 weeks. You really want to get into your groove and thinking about how you're doing things. And then after those 2 weeks, maybe, I could circle 2 things here that can be improved. Maybe you're just not quite sure, how can I improve these? This is where you want suggestions that work with how you're already doing things, things to improve and make things work faster for you and better.
Yeah, well, the journaling, that's another excellent idea. I hope all those that are listening are getting all of these wonderful tidbits. Journaling is definitely a way to, try to figure out some of those patterns, and it's a good tool for self-reflection and just kind of figuring out what's not working for you and what is working for you in that instance. So, yeah, definitely the journaling and going back through your days and seeing, what you were able to accomplish and how you were able to do it. I think that really helps as well. Um, what is the difference between I'm actually getting ready to, and this is the kind of the motivation for me asking this question. I'm actually getting ready to speak to a group of attorneys, the Virginia State Bar, and our topic is, turning chaos into order when you are an attorney that is, struggling with the competing demands of your personal life and your business life. Um, and so for those of us that are caregivers, but we also have a professional life, we have careers, what are there, is being organized in your personal life the same as in your professional, or should we look at it differently? What's your take on that?
The methods are the same, I think, but in your business life, that's where you're seeing more of your results. You're meeting clients, you're doing projects for them. You There's so many pieces to that. There's the planning, there's the execution, there's the follow-up after the project's been completed. And all those things really need like a flow chart type of a design. They need specific agendas with, deadlines, and giving you deadlines that are reasonable. Can you really, pull a case together for, within a week? Can you get all the documents and research that needs to happen? I guess that would depend upon the size of the project. If it's something large, give yourself more time. That's the important part. And then with your personal life is supposed to be fun and a little bit more loose, the major to-do list things that are happening, cleaning, activities you want to do, um, lawn work, laundry, those types of things, they can be definitely combined. You can get a little relaxation in while you're doing your laundry. You can knit something or whatever kind of craft that you like to do, read a book. Get that in while the laundry is happening. That way you're still getting a fulfillment, and then you're also getting the task done. And the demand part of your personal and business, it's hard sometimes to give it that balance. Sometimes your work will overtake everything that you have, and then you're left with very little personal time. And that makes an unhappy person. You can't have self-fulfillment when you've given out everything else. If you can't recharge yourself, if you're not able to do things in your home that make you feel good, it's really hard to do your best being in the professional world.
I think that's excellent advice, and more the reason why getting organized should be a priority. I think I was just at a client's today, and I think she had a sign that said, "Cleanliness is not as good as, or no, idle cleanliness is not as good as creative chaos," or something like that. And I thought
Mhm.
that was such a cute little saying. Um, but they're definitely getting organized will help to reduce that stress. What are some of the other benefits of getting organized?
Being organized honestly will leave, make more free time for yourself. If you've already planned out this, and this can happen, this project happens here, here, and here, you will have the time for the freedom. Maybe you just want to relax and sit outside. And you can really truly enjoy that because you've already checked off on your to-do list what's happened today. I got this report out. I got this quote finished. I made appointments for next week. You left yourself time to recharge and energize, and then you can jump back into, say, developing a website or cooking meals for the week, those types of things to keep your life running smoothly. And I think a lot of times when you feel that things aren't right, or, I'm going through the motions, I'm making things happen every day, but just something feels a little off, maybe that something off is you're missing the organized piece. And you're just kind of going through the motions instead of reflecting and evaluating, which is an essential part of making life work, I think.
Oh, I think so. And since you brought that up, Make Life Work, you guys know that's the title of my book. So go to Amazon.com and pick you up a copy. Thank you for that plug, Stephanie. I didn't know
Very
that was going to
welcome.
come out, but since you said it, there you go. Yes, making life work. That's what we're talking about. Getting organized so we can stay happy, healthy, and productive, and enjoy life. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. We can be going through the motions and getting things done off of our to-do list, but if we're not happy in the process, then what benefit is it really at all? You got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy it. Are there any key points, Stephanie, that you would like to leave us with this evening?
I think just that being happy and healthy and organized are amazing philosophy to work towards, and doing things that work towards your big picture. It's kind of hard to say no sometimes, but in the end, you will feel fulfilled and happier by saying no because you were able to do something that was towards your big picture.
Wow, that's always a powerful word, no. I'm sure we all struggle with that, but I think that was great advice. Learning to say no. Sometimes you just can't please everyone. You're not going to please everyone, and you just have to accept that and be happy with that. And I think that's excellent point to leave off with. If anyone has any questions, Stephanie, can you give out your email if someone has questions afterwards, or your contact information?
Sure, I can type it into the chat box.
Yeah, if you type it in the chat box for those that would like some more information about how Stephanie might be able to help you in getting organized so you can be happy and healthy, please, by all means. She's a wonderful person to work with, and she'd be more than happy to help you out.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions that's on the line, or if not, you can contact Stephanie afterwards. I'm sure she will be more than happy to speak with you.
I would be. My email, sortmeout@sesi-va.com, or you can text or call me at 757-570-2937.
And Stephanie, could you just let people know before we hang up for the evening what type of services you would be able to help people with on the personal level and then also professionally?
Sure. A lot of the organizing services revolve around room transfer when it comes to your home or your office. Room transformation. What is that room's purpose? Is it supposed to be the craft room, or is it supposed to be the office? And looking at what's in here, how can we store things, ceiling to floor, getting rid of what doesn't need to be in there. And then when it comes to your business, we're looking at how can we improve productivity? what is your process for taking orders? Is it coming through all the way to the end in a timely fashion, and it's the customer being contacted? What's happening and how can we make it better and improve the bottom line? And it also can be as simple as coming in and just giving you the plan. This is what I think should happen to make this more effective. Or I can come in and just dig in and sort, keep, or throw. And then the things that we want to keep, how can we display those in a nice design way, whether it's, you have a collection of hats. Well, let's get a curtain rod and hang them up with clips. That way they're all in one spot, they're visible, and they are improving the space in the room.
Well, you heard it, folks. She can help you. She's the girl, because I'm getting ready to move, and I'm going to have to call Stephanie to help me set up my home/office. Because I am looking at all of my stuff and my junk, and I'm saying, how in the world am I going to get all this done, and how am I going to set it up? So I'll be calling Stephanie for sure. But I thank you all for joining us. Please keep posted. We're going to have some more webinars coming up on some different topics, and we look forward to having you all back again next month. And stay tuned. Follow us on Facebook for the next update on the upcoming topics and speakers. And we thank you for joining us. And have a good night, everyone. Thank you, Stephanie, so much for your help.
Thank you. I enjoyed talking about organizing, one of my favorite things.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks.